No, Trump to say that Trump.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk. Tonight, we're just going to discuss the 2024 presidential election for Black Dummies. Good evening, Dr. Short.
Good evening to you, man. And, you know, I did forget one thing. That silly-ass woman with the hair, Crockett. I know you put the bald-headed woman up there, Presley. You know, the one with the 10-pin head. So, anyway, yes. You know that song by the Impressions, and it says, "Which one would you choose, my brother, if you had a choice of color?" Well, this is a choice of cracker. What would you pick, my brother? You're going to have to pick, really, in 2024. You don't really have too many choices. In fact, you need to tone the music down. That'd be too entertaining for people, man. But it sounds, that music's too upbeat. We need some damn blues, something sad, something more commiserate with the Black experience and what we're in right now, because we're so damn stupid. And we're just begging for everybody to genocide us as we're genociding ourselves, Well, anyway, it's good night to everybody. I hope everybody's feeling good. And we really do have to make a choice. The year 2024 is going to be a year of decision. Black folks are going to decide whether they want to be eliminated or not. I think some of us hate ourselves so much, we're not going to make a choice and just wait and see it happen. But for those of us that want to survive, you need to be thinking. And we're not going to even waste any time on the little bald-headed, degenerate, dementia-riven Alzheimer victim with the nasty family. Look, Biden's ass is out. He's played himself. And, aside from Kamala Harris perhaps being, I guess, politically speaking, she could get a Presidential Medal of Freedom for using blowjobs to enhance her political power as a person, if she has any. But, nobody wants her ass either, even for all the stupid AKAs out there, dumbass holes, that think that this Asian broad is a Black woman, and yet she doesn't want to do anything for us. We don't care about you. What you think doesn't matter. In fact, point your attention to how things really are. Is the Black woman up in Kenosha, Wisconsin, that went to buy a car, and I guess she was kind of snappy with the white men, so they didn't give her ID back, and they made a video of them pissing on her ID card and doxing her. More of that stuff is likely to happen, as folks really tell you, since you have done such an exemplary job of helping tear down the Black man, the Black race. They don't need your self-destructive sabotage, your fifth column bullshit anymore. So the gloves are off. All of you that think that you can collaborate, you need to pick yourselves up a complimentary copy of Turner Diary and see how it all ends. And they're talking about shooting you and your biracial kids, and all the white niggas get some too. So let's not waste any time on that. Again, Biden is out. He is not a factor in anything except the destruction of this country. And the further destruction of Black people. He's done a great job. He started with us, and now he's moved on to white people. White people know it. The only people that don't know that Biden is destructive are, forgive me, I have to say it again, you black women. I'm gonna keep talking about y'all until y'all improve. As a teacher, as a lecturer, you often had to like come down on the students that weren't trying until they improved. So if y'all want us to stop messing with y'all, stop talking about y'all having all this artificial hair, and in fact, y'all pioneered artificial intelligence the way y'all been voting. Y'all had that shit long before this stuff was created in the laboratory. This artificial intelligence, along with the artificial hair, eyelashes. I mean, I don't know. Everything's artificial. Even the food y'all like to eat. That stuff is going the way of the buffalo. And so let's just remember that Biden was the candidate of choice, over 90% for a certain demographic, that have problems with weight. He is not going to be the president again. I don't care what you say. I don't care how many people he puts up. Did you see that woman that's running the government services? She came out. I know you've seen her.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you know that she's been vaccinated, right? But you see, you don't know what she was vaccinated for. Do you care to ask?
Yeah, I see she came out and she basically tried to play on
Gaslight everybody. Yes, she tried to gaslight people.
Who's cleaning out her garbage. Well, if he needs to survive off a government check by cleaning out your garbage or cleaning your office, why don't you make sure he gets some money? Like, they love to play this emotional politics on us.
Mm-hmm. And what vaccine do you think she needs?
The gastro.
No, she needs mad cow. I was looking at her. She looks like the Borden cow with the horns pulled off. They have all of these. When he's in trouble, Biden is the biggest pimp of all times. Whenever he's in trouble, there's a stupid, dumb fuck black woman that's willing to step into the gap and make a fool of her ass, and by extension, the rest of us, to say that they're going to play Tommy Wynette to this mass incarceration bigot. Damn.
But Dr. Short, did you see earlier where before they was about to vote, this bozo goes and pulls the fire alarm. He says now he wasn't pulling the fire alarm.
That's like saying you don't know the difference between a wet wipe and a condom. Yeah. Fuck him. He's lying.
And then tried to say,
okay, I know the difference between a condom and a wet wipe. The shape of it is different. I mean, you know, when you see a wet wipe, they give those things to your wet nap. When you go to little cheap restaurants, they don't have like a bathroom, whatever, or the toilet stopped up. They give you little things to package. They're almost the same size as a condom, but they're different. You look at him, study that thing. He's no dummy. That lying communist coon is lying. And by the way, isn't he pro LGBTQ, Jamal Bowman?
Yeah.
Isn't he with Black Lives Matter?
Yeah.
I mean, it's another one of these. Let me just check. I'm almost convinced that he's, you've got these pork chop feminists and these, let me just look him up. Oh God, I think that's true about him. I remember Jamal Bowman, and let me pull his name up. And he's like the black male AOC. Well, I mean, so just, I'm going to just look him up. I know he's in this. There's a type of person that you keep seeing them time and time again. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you look, yep. Well, let me see. Oh, yes. Openly gay candidates poised to make historic wins in New York. Elsewhere in New York, progressive Jamal Bowman was on track to defeat longtime Representative Elliot Engel. Openly gay candidates. Black and gay candidates tap the energy of racial justice. Mm-hmm. So this is a dick-licking person. Now, and they know about shapes and sizes and stuff. So no, you can't even be into the shit that you claim to be and not know what stuff look like. He was on there touching on the thing and stroking it before he pulled it. I mean, that's the picture of him.
You know damn well what that was. How could you confuse a fire alarm
Well,
with a
he could get confused and ask for pussy. It's pretty easy with the logic set he's got.
And it's always the black ones, either party, as the sacrificial lamb that want to
No,
sit there.
no, suicidal lamb. This lamb wanted to die. Why did you have to do that? But you see, these people, Jamal he is one of, I mean, they're putting, and he's bald headed too. Oh, God have mercy. Help me, Jesus. Help me to get through this. And so what they have is for you to know who to go to if you're a penis licking or carpet munching person. They have a listing so you know who's like you in Congress, and he's up there. Let me send this to you. Please share this with the audience. Please share this with the audience. I want you to see him. I'm not even saying what. It's not like we dug in people's private life. You advertise yourself this way. And so I have to look at you. You're the one that want me to see this. You're the one that want me to see this. You're the one that made me know this. Let me play something from him.
Can't we leave trans people alone? Let them be who they are. Let them live their lives. Let's stop discriminating against them simply because they are different from who we are and different than what we understand. Just because we don't understand it doesn't mean we shouldn't support the transgender community and love them in the same way we should love all human beings. They're not bothering anyone. They want to go to school. They want to play sports. They want to hang out with their friends. They want to live their lives.
They want to be the women's dressing room.
Let them live their lives. We have an ugly history of discriminating against people who are different than we are. Throughout our time in this country, whether they are Black, Latino, Asian, LGBTQ,
oh, God. Jesus.
People with disabilities, women. We have an ugly history of discrimination in this country. And now the trans community is the target. All they want to do is live their lives. Why are Republicans so uncomfortable with this? Let them be who they are. That's it. They're not bothering you. They're not taking your lunch money.
Oh, they're not teaching your kids.
They're not criminalizing.
They're not doing drag queen story hour.
They're not
in women's sports.
Gun violence. They just want to live and be happy like everyone else. And they are contributing members to society, whether it's through education, sports,
STDs,
the economy,
crime,
or anything else.
Sex industry.
What the heck? Who are we as Americans and as a human race to be so darn uncomfortable with an individual or group of people that's different from who we are?
All right. Did you hear that? That's what he's doing up here in Congress. He's on the tranny agenda. He's filthy. He's bald-headed. A lot of the gay ones are bald-headed. Let me just give y'all a thumbnail so that can help y'all out. You know, when you get STDs, a lot of times, a lot of people, I don't know what it is, but some of the STDs bother hair growth. And if it's not the STDs that cause the hair growth problems, the medications that they give you to fight the STDs that go with these lifestyles damage your hair. And that's why you'll see a lot of bald-headed people when you have Pride Month. You'll start seeing all these bald-headed people. And by the way, I got a head full of nappy hair. I don't even comb the shit. I got lots of hair, so that shit sure don't apply to me. Okay. You see a lot of people and they don't have hair. That's Cory Booker. A lot of these people. Tim Scott's got a bald head. You know, there are a lot of these people. I'm not saying that they necessarily. I'm not saying that those two are necessarily LGBTQ, although they could be. But there's a big thing about bald head. If you ever look at, if you're forced to see Pride stuff, you'll see the guys with all the leather stuff, and they always have bald heads. Haven't you noticed that, brother?
Mm-hmm.
Have you wondered why the head's always bald? Speaking of bald heads, Ayanna Presley, she's a little sorry ass woman with the bald head that says that the borders are secure. Let's talk about her. Something that's not secure is your
You said the
marriage.
borders are secure, Dr. Shaw?
Yeah, but you know, her marriage isn't secure. When you're running around with the bald head, you have a husband, you know, it's a disgrace. You could put a wig on. I mean, you're supposedly in the Maxine Waters universe. You should have something to cover that head. It doesn't look, when you look like a transgender or you look like a cross between RuPaul and Dr. Evil, you would look a lot better if you just put some on your goddamn head. And so, you know, she's married, and I'm willing to bet you a few dollars that she and her husband haven't been intimate since she's been in their second term. To me, that's dishonoring your husband to walk around bald headed in Congress. And you say it's alopecia. Well, I don't care. You could put a damn wig on. She's out of touch. She just barely won re-election in Boston. They're tired of her. When they use up these black women, they throw them away like old condoms with the pinprick in them. And she's just, her expiration stamp is on. I believe that they're going to get rid of her within, say, 2 years. She's going to be out of there. But that thing that she did, even pro-Biden Jake Tapper, I mean, even these people couldn't understand how she's doubling down. And yes, she's in one of those sororities. I think that she's Delta Sigma Theta. I think so. Let me look that stud up. I know Ayanna Presley, you know goodness well that you are probably Delta Sigma Theta. I really believe that in my whole heart that you're Delta Sigma Theta. And so you get all of these hard, but bald headed. Look at her looking like a Afrocentric Kojak. Okay, and you got that big bald head. Why don't you put a hat on? Do something with it. Does that look appropriate to you to have the only woman in Congress bald-headed, the only woman that would dare to do something that unusual would be black? It's always these black folk who've got no dignity, no decorum, no self-control that have the loudest mouths. They embarrass us. I'm serious. I mean, and look at her. She's got this big bald head. You do look like RuPaul. And he's nicer. Let me see. She married this man in 2014. I hope it lasts. I mean, I would not want to be married to someone with the bald head. I mean, unless you had chemo, and that's not chemo, you could put a wig on. I don't think alopecia does that to your head like that. You cut all that stuff off to be different, to stand out, to defy people. That's his whole... and I'm wondering if she's some kind of African or something like that to just do something weird. A lot of times, are really strange people that are doing really crazy, nasty stuff. A lot of times, they're persons, you know. But anyway, no, her folks. She comes from a jacked up family. Mm-hmm.
So you guys in the chat, one of these distinguished figures on this poster will be the next president outside of Dianne Feinstein. She's up out of here.
Well, basically, she's probably, you know, getting her, I don't know, putting on her Hellfire prison stripes. I wonder what color they are. That was an evil ass woman. And like I said, she looked like that. What was that movie? The Christmas Nightmare or the Horror of Christmas or whatever. God.
Hey, Dr. Shaw, you know what I wanted to talk to you about one of these people? Let's have a discussion about Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Okay, well that's better news. I kind of like him. I kind of like him some of the time. Yeah,
interesting figure. He was one of the people that was banned during the scandemic, and then he decided to run for presidency.
and he's married to a movie star.
He still is saying that the Democratic Party, the president, has not given him Secret Service protection.
He's not going to, and you know that he's likely to run as an independent. He's supposed to announce on the 9th of October. And he's 69 years old. And he's, you know, I agree with him. There's something that is unusual. And, you know, he's been married 3 times, divorced once, one wife died. Now he's on with Cheryl Hines. She's a good actress. She's a lot of fun. She's in that movie with, who's the comedian that killed himself? And I don't know, he was in Miss Doubtfire. Come on, y'all. You know who I'm talking about.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Yeah,
Robin Williams. And she's in that movie RV. Kennedy has been showing the link that there are hundreds of thousands of Black boys damaged by vaccine. He's formed a group called the Children's Health Defense. And he's one of the few people that's trying to spare people, tell people the truth. He's been working even with the doggone Nation of Islam.
Yeah, he went to him years. He went to Farrakhan years ago and tried to tell him about the some of the things that are targeted in these vaccines. And this, I don't want us to turn it into a vaccine conversation, but Robert F. Kennedy has always spearheaded, or one of the people that spearheaded, letting us know about the dangers of all of them. Because
all kinds of medication. Let me
ask you, Dr. Short, if you remember, how many shots did you have to take when you was in school?
I don't remember. I know I didn't take all of them. I can just tell you that.
I think it was 6.
Okay, well, you and I are about what, 7, 8, 9, 10 years apart.
I think it was 6.
You know, I took some of them, but I didn't take everything. And I can't tell you what to take or not to take. I just know I did have some of them. I remember taking the polio shit. It tasted good. They had like grape juice. I remember that. It's been decades. It's been like almost better part of 50 years since I had a polio thing, but that was kind of cool. But the other stuff hurt. I know that, but you got a tetanus shot and you got whooping cough, bumps, measles, chicken pox. Yeah, you had a couple of them that you had. And, and I'll tell you, you didn't see a whole lot of difficulty when people got vaccinated. So my relationship to vaccinations is, you know, if it works, it works, right? Yeah. If it doesn't work, or if there are problems with it, you know, maybe, you know, you need to like look at how you mixed it. So I've not been a person that said, oh, you can't vaccinate people. I would never tell you that. I would say that there can be, with any kind of treatment, you really need to vet what you're giving people. You have to know. And if you're just after money, then there could be major problems. So we'll say it like that. Let's move to something else. Kennedy is a maverick. He is from that family, and he's a threat. Aside from that, he wants to know who killed his dad and his uncle, and who killed Dr. Martin Luther King, and who killed Malcolm X.
He clearly said if he becomes president, he's going to declassify all those files.
That's going to like literally expose people. It's going to expose the drugs being brought in the country. I mean, the whole secrecy state thing. I have a friend who works for Kennedy. Okay, so I get inside, and literally all the people around Kennedy, if you notice, there's been very little. They've been told they're going to get killed. Just don't get all your asses killed. When they're not going to get any help, they want them dead. and they'll make it look like it's accidents or some lone person. So he can't run as a Democrat. They're going to rig everything. There will be no debates. Then this is just in your face. And yes, I'm going to take a minute. Yes, I am, to attack pork chop feminists. When a political party literally says the president will not debate, nobody can run, and it's just going to be him with him not talking to anybody. And they can count on 90% of black women to be behind them. It says that people really think that black women are the stupidest hoes in the country. Really. It says that they think you're stupid, sisters. That there's never been anything like this in American history where you didn't even have to come before the people. Nobody can run against you. Folks can't have protection. You know, Jesse Jackson back in the 80s got protection. Secret Service protection, what, in 1984? 84. Okay, and in 88. How is it that Jesse Jackson, a black man who's a bastard offspring of his mom and another dude who's come from very little, could get protection, and yet a scion from a billionaire family can't? A black man gets protected before a white man? What? I mean, really, a rich white man and a wealthy black man. Who do you think they'd protect? And it makes you wonder, but you know, Jesse's with the Council on Foreign Relations and a range of other things. You know, Jesse's Boulay. He's with the sister.
Someone whose family, with Kennedy, someone whose family who has literally spilt blood for this country. So, as they say.
Yeah, and they're very powerful in the Democratic Party.
Powerful
Just this, how he can't get anything, no debate, nothing. It's just out and out no.
And he's not asking for no Kennedy favors, nothing like that. He's just
saying, it doesn't matter. It does. What they're saying is this: the people who have Biden, who's their daggone puppet marionette, and it may be Ofaga, I think it is, and others. They want to keep the power because any change will expose them. They're going to go to jail. They'll be ruined. There's a lot of pride. It's amazing that they teach you that swallowing semen is like drinking spring water. They tell you there's no God, there's no right or wrong. Atheism's cool. Being nasty, cheating and stealing, there's no right or wrong. But then when it comes down to them being held accountable, if you really didn't believe there was a right or wrong, you wouldn't mind someone else coming to power because you didn't do anything, because there's nothing that you could do, because there isn't anything that's wrong or right. And then you see the pride, the wickedness of pride. They're doubling down. It's sort of like these politicians that have a double life. You're passing legislation, defense of marriage, and you're saying it's okay to kill babies and it's okay to hack off the boobs and the penises of underage kids. And yet, if you're living a gay life, you won't. You can't be open about it, but you'll force it on everybody else. It seems as if that's what you do. You could just say, "Well, shoot, I got mine." That's one thing I'll give to Jamal Bowman. At least he's out there with his bald-headed, paid toilet sex looking ass. He's out with his shit. And why isn't Obama and some other people? I mean, I'm telling you, they should call it Capitol Hill. Because, I mean, this poop is piled up there, spiritually, physically, and otherwise. Okay, go with it.
The amazing thing, Dr. Short, now we know we're not going to get any debates out of the Democratic Party. So the Republican Party has had 2 debates so far. And the winner of those debates
is Donald Trump.
Debate.
He doesn't have to, because people know the election was stolen. People know that shit was taken. Folks hate Biden right now. The only people that don't hate Biden are the dumbass people, and they're a minority. Trump, they keep indicting him, and they're getting him for what everybody else does. What Donald Trump did, overvaluing his property, is called capitalism. It's called capitalism. Oil isn't $100 a barrel, But if you can charge the market price and you bid that shit up,
Yeah, they
the
always
mar-
say not what you worth so that you can negotiate.
the rents for housing, all these apartments, $4,000 or $5,000 a month for like a hole in the wall. That's not the real value, but that's what they can demand of people. That's how the system works. All of a sudden, all this hatred of communism and hatred of socialism and praising capitalism. Well, Donald Trump's a capitalist. Donald Trump is looking out for his. Donald Trump is trying to become a billionaire, a baller. Uh, Look, they got Manhattan ripping off the Indians. They've ripped off black people. They've never paid us our motherfucking money for slavery and everything else. They cheat on everything. The English empire's based on piracy, stealing, grifting, cheating. And you mean only when Donald Trump cheats or grifts, it's bad. Come on, what do they do up in New York with stocks? It's called pump and dump. You lie to little people about how well a stock's going to do, and you get people to buy. In fact, rich people buy a lot of it, make it look like the stock's going up. And then as a lot of other suckers come in, what do? They sell it off and they make a killing. And then that stock crashes and the little people lose their money. It's called pump and dump. Subprime loans. Obama didn't have one person arrested or charged for giving people these illegal, unfair, biased loans. They didn't bail out anybody either. I mean, all of this fraud and corruption, you know, for real estate, they have a thing called market correction where people overvalue real estate. And there comes a point where you got $100,000 home that's appraised for $4 million. They have to come through and bring the price down to what it really is. What is he doing that anybody else doesn't do? For all of you listening, you've had a problem maybe with your credit, and I'll show you how to do credit repair, and you do a hack. There's a certain companies that will let you get a line of credit for $1,000 and help you pay it down. So your credit goes up. It doesn't mean you have more money. It means that you work the system to have access to have more money to work with. He did that. I'm not saying it's right, but he's doing what everybody else does, and they're punishing him for it. In reality, look, what's more wicked than letting crime go up in a black area, bringing in dope and gangsters and migrants, and the police not coming to solve the crime, and which you force people to leave a neighborhood, and then for pennies on the dollar, people buy up stuff, and then they get loans and discounts to build new housing in an area that people are literally driven out by a systematic structure to cheat them. Then they get rich, taking money from the government, the state, and the city, right, to build up housing. Or they say they tear down public housing and say they're going to build back affordable housing, and they don't do it. And it's all luxury apartments. That happens in every city in this country. Mm-hmm. They say they want to bring pro sports. Well, you take the money from the poor people to put up a stadium, and those folks get a 20-year tax holiday where they pay no taxes on a stadium that the people paid for. Literally, they got money from the city. No money for schools, no money for seniors, no money for police, no money for fire, no money for infrastructure, but these people want baseball. They want football. How is Donald Trump different from all the rest of the rich people in this country? Are you understanding me? They lie about everything. Let's be honest. If you can't negotiate it, you don't get it. I'll give you an example. It's a soda or a can of beer or even a bottle of water worth $10, $12, $13 in the ballpark. You know, they sell the Dasani water for like $12, $13, and you can't bring in your own water, and then they make you pay $15 for a bottle of water. That bottle of water may be worth 15 cents. Isn't that what business really is? You're paying more than what it's really supposed to be. You get the Michael Jordan shoes that cost $2 to make, and they sell it to you for $300. They call it a special edition, right? Or for people to be working on a medication and they find it makes your hair grow or it makes you hold an erection longer, and they simply rename the drug and sell it to you, but there's side effects, but the public paid for the research and development, and yet they sock it to people with the highest drug prices in the world. This whole country is based on business fraud and cheating. Again, starting off with Black folks being turned into commodities and not people. So you mean Trump said his properties are worth more than what they say they are? Do people understand the federal housing, FHA, literally overpraises the value of white homes versus Black homes and undervalues Black homes by a minimum of a third? That's why you can hear a story of Black folks having white people be in their house when people come in to buy, and a house that is able to sell for $750,000, but when whites see Black people, they only want to offer $200,000, which is less than the value of the house. Everything is based on this. Does it make it right? But no, but that's how everything is done. How is Donald Trump and his family worse than all the people like the Rockefellers and others who know that there are alternatives to gasoline? Like you can do more with solar, you can do more with geothermal. There's all kinds of things that wouldn't cost people as much money. And you know what? Make a car that runs on water and see how fast you get killed. Who killed you? Why is it that we have to use something that pollutes the atmosphere? Someone gets paid off of it. Why were people being given remdesivir when other drugs worked the last 2, 3, 4 years? Remdesivir has killed 60% or more of the people that use it. So the nature of capitalism is crooked. Donald Trump is a creature of the business environment that comprises America. It's a flea market inside of a brothel. Why would he be? And that's what a lot of people know this stuff. A lot of folks know that a lot of businesses ripping people off. They know that. Why is it that newspapers a long time ago cost a penny? Now people charge you $2, $3 for a newspaper. You mean it's 2 or 3 or 400 times more expensive to produce a paper then than now? No, it's because they can demand that. They're getting the advertising from the people who have the ads in the paper. So you're trying to get paid. Are drugs really worth what they say they are? You know, if you're in certain places, the drugs are so cheap, it's no issue. Heroin's so cheap. It's when you get it into a different market that the price of the cocaine and the heroin and the fentanyl goes through the ceiling, right?
Mhm.
A lot of the stuff, I mean, you can make your own booze.
So you
A
guys,
lot. So hold on. It's packaging, branding. Like Negroes, we're all into brands. Like we're into brand white supremacy. I mean, that's why Black folks will not buy the store brands. As broke as their asses are, will pay twice as much for the store, for the national brand that's no better than the local one, because they feel like if it's better known, it's better. And in reality, it's just more expensive. So how is they're trying to charge him and make that a crime? Well, that's the nature of business in this country. So people who know that see Donald Trump being persecuted, and he's going to keep soaring in the polls. He's going to keep soaring. Unless they take his life, God forbid, and that's going to be really a mess in this country. I would hate to be a Black woman if Donald Trump gets hurt. I'm sorry. I grew up around white folk, and they'll say, "You Black bitches, you hated him. You couldn't fucking leave him alone, you Black cunts." I'm serious. Can you imagine some white race soldiers attacking uh, some black society bitch things like the AKAs or the Deltas having a mass shooting where a white dude goes on a rampage and shoots up a whole bunch of bushy black women, and folks are wondering why. And this is the kind of stuff I can envision happening very soon. And people keep messing, keep doing it. Dumbasses. Nobody can tell you. And you know what? We don't come from a culture where the men beat women's asses and make them do what we say. Y'all one day will wish we had that authority to protect you when it starts falling. I just was on the phone with a dear friend in Chicago, and he was telling me he's been noticing that the studs are speaking. I mean, all these like lesbians are saying hi and all, and he's saying the reason he thinks that they're being friendly is they know with all these illegals and all who have no problems killing, stabbing, beating a woman, a black woman who could do all that black power shit. That's for some pussy-addled nigga who thinks he has no dignity unless he's laid up with the woman that doesn't want him. But men from other cultures have no problem. A woman say something, cut her tongue out, slit her throat. It means nothing to them. I think it's horrific. I think it's barbaric. At the same time, I think it's stupid for a woman to carry herself like that. A whole lot of folks, they're bringing these people in here for a racial conflict. And if you know anything about what's called a people's war means just that. They're trying to kill all the people, not just the men. In case they didn't tell you, pork chops. Y'all don't hear about that when you're pledging Delta and Zeta and AKA, or when you're Eastern Star, or when you're in one of those little stupid churches with the fat meat, back of the head preacher that's always pandering to you. Okay, you were going to say something.
For those in the Red Sigma said, does Dr. Short, he going to have a mega vest on, a MAGA vest on.
Yeah, well, you know, then you have to worry about the people that hate MAGA. I'm not saying that you have to be into that, because I'm only saying that we need to, if people start having a shootout on the street, do you pick sides or do you duck? Common sense is, if I don't got I don't got a gun, these people out here shooting, I'm gonna duck, get behind something.
So you guys in the chat, the way this show tonight is a little different is we want you guys, out of all these distinguished people on this flyer, we want you guys to tell us who you think would benefit you to be your next president. And Dr. Short and myself, we're going to go through each one of them and have a conversation about it. And just two things real quick before we even go to continue. None of these people are saying they're pro reparations, so we might as well not even bring that discussion up. And none of these people have been forefront with getting a anti-black hate bill. So those are two things that's not on the table for nobody here that has said that they want to be president or any.
And speaking of an anti-hate bill, let's do a commercial. How many people in the room? About 29. How many people are on this thing?
60.
Okay, y'all. We want everybody to like this show right now. Treat this like this is. We want people to like this and send this out. We want to have a conversation.
And I do got something for you, Dr. Short.
Okay, well, that's good treatment.
Ebony said hello.
Oh, hi, Ebony. Stay white, sister.
She said you spoke of her in Friday night's video release, so she is here tonight.
Okay, well, good. Keep coming back. We're going to keep being ourselves. Look, like the show and share it. We've got to have this conversation. We've got to have a conversation. It's life or death. And it's not so much what we're saying, it's what you're going to face. There's 6 million people in this country, mostly male. If you know anything that's going to be an issue, you got to house, feed, deal with them. That's going to make crime and arrange things go up. It's unavoidable. But by the way, please share this, like this. You know how to support the channel. Please move this around because, you know, we're making progress and we're going to keep making it. So let me see. Go ahead and lead, brother. I'm ready because. But one thing I'm going to say, I won't interrupt you anymore. Look, we know that Donald Trump is going to be the nominee for the Republicans, no matter what the rhinos say or do. In fact, there was a very good sister down in Georgia that called out that sorry ass Fannie Willis. And I'm forgetting the sister's name in Georgia, if y'all know who I'm talking about. She's been censored by the Republican Party because they're fake as shit. They hate Trump. They hate Trump because he isn't a racist ass country club Republican the way that they need him to be. But it's one black woman who's joined the Republican Party and they're censoring her, telling her she's wrong to call out Fannie Willis. And yet they were bitching about Fannie Willis to show you they still hate black people's guts so much. They don't really, they want Trump taken down, sort of, but they want to be the ones to do it. And at the same time, they're saying that they don't want Fannie Willis to do it, but they do. And when the black woman comes to Trump's defense, and she's not playing the role because they want these black women to be basically the dick ring to the Democrats. When the black women start thinking about survival, they attack. When a black woman is truly on her code, on her square, I'm not saying care so much what her decisions are, but she's thinking as a person in a group and not, a sex separate from the ethnic group she's in. They turn and they're as vicious on a black woman as they are on a black man. It's the same way Harriet Tubman got popped in the head with the lead weight. She was treated like a man. When you stand up, oh, you're not gonna be a ratchet bed wench. Well, I'm gonna beat you like you're a dude. In fact, they've been treating black women like trans for 400 years. Now, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Now, I understand everybody may feel like none of these politicians have any major issues, that they're not speaking about reparations and they're not speaking about a black anti-black crime bill. However, politics affect you. So if you've never voted, if you've held your vote prior, maybe you think that's the best solution. I don't know. I can't tell nobody. I never get involved in a person that vote. I was raised that way. When you go in that booth, it's between you and whoever you vote for. I know
It's sort of like your bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah. So we know that we got these distinguished people, like Dr. Shore said, and we're witnessing Donald Trump is definitely going to win the nominee in the Republican Party. So now we go to the Democratic Party and what's going on, and make no mistake, for those of us that think that it's a faction in the Democratic Party, is the globalist agenda, and the progressives have basically had a beef for quite some time, and now the progressives is no more. This was the whole thing of Nancy Pelosi telling the squad to be quiet. They're done. They're done. They're done. And as we see Bernie Sanders himself has attacked Cornel West, which, and Cornel West is socialist agenda as well. So you guys,
Democratic Party. He's in the Democratic Socialist Party. He sure is.
Yes. So you guys in the chat, tell us what you think, because somebody on this thing is going to be the next president, and it will affect you.
And I'll tell you something. Even if Robert Kennedy, he's going to have to hire his own people because, like I said, I know people that work with him. They've been told not to make certain, not to speak out, to stop going, because they've already been promised that they're going to kill some people around Kennedy, no matter what. I mean, that is really cynical, that they're going to kill people who support him or speak out or bring up certain issues, that all of them, they know who they are, they're going to get them. And I talked to all men trying to figure out how not to get shot. We're in a dictatorship, and it's Biden and the wicked ass people that are behind them are literally ready to get the Martin Luther King treatment. Now they're giving white people Martin Luther King treatment. They're ready to off people.
Hey, you guys, anybody that has any questions, I'm gonna hold the questions until later, but I'm gonna make sure that I star them so everybody's questions will be answered. Dr. Short, one brother said, "Black always first. Give us our motherfucking money." I got brother Dr. Short. So you running for president, Dr. Short?
No, I'm not running shit. I mean, I do not want. I mean, look, I live in one of the gang banging places in D.C. called Edgewood, and I developed like how can I say? y- We learned how to hit the deck because people be shooting and shit. So I don't like gunfire and shit. I just DC with all the shooting and stabbing and so forth. Uh, I remember Dr. King getting shot, and I was 3 years old. I, I'm not interested in anyone shooting me. I'm not scared. I'm just, annoyed. And, with lone gunman shit. Let somebody else do it. I'd
Well,
like to
see,
see some.
one
I'd like to
one
see somebody else run for something.
dedication 666. I see your statement. I'm gonna let Dr. Short. I'm gonna ask Dr. Short that question with your statement. He said he'd like to see FBA abandon national politics altogether and only vote ballot initiatives, policy over politicians. I agree with the last statement, policy over politicians, but you
I agree
really
with policy over politicians, but I'll tell you, um, it is true that the elections are compromised. You're just absolutely right. But the problem is that we're counting on the elections instead of having the power. It's two different things.
mm,
If someone said to me, be president, no, or run, I would rather be part of a movement. I like the way Jews do stuff. Jews, they will own the politicians. They don't need to sit in the seat. You realize how annoying it is? Imagine if for just 1 minute, if you were that burnt out Afrocentric Ronald McDonald bitch, what's her name? Karine Jean Pierre, and you have to get up and lie for that geriatric pedophile. And you're in that seat. I wouldn't want. I'd rather control his ass and have to speak for him or be in that place. We aren't taught what real power is. Real power is politicians know they can't criticize Israel or other things. They better not. No matter what they think, they better lie. It isn't so much. See, we're black folks. We need to be the person at the microphone instead of the person that owns the master recording and the publishing and the radio stations. We need to get out of the performance and get into the power, the control, the business. We're very, very. It's sort of like people think that basically fucking makes a family. It's true that fucking can procreate that people that become a family, but it's deeper than just the externals. We tend to not go deep. Black folks should be, like you said, crafting the policy and then controlling people. Like I said, look, a handful of black folks who know folks in the right places could have all kinds of compromising detail on politicians. And you get all kinds of stuff. At one point, I know for a fact when the attorney general who Sessions, it's alleged that he was messing with this black man down in Alabama. So when I did an interview, he was talking about black identity extremists. And I said, so what's more extreme than the person that hates black people by day and screws them all night long, especially when they have the same sex? He's the identity extremist, not we black people. I think I told you the story. All of a sudden, my Skype, everything, my phone, all my stuff got cut off. I mean, but you know what? It was back in October 2017. You stop hearing about black identity extremism from Sessions. The same in October 2017, that shit went away. The same time I came out and started talking about him fucking this black man down in Birmingham. Okay, white people, Jewish people, and others, they use blackmail and secrets. They know about people's stuff, right? They're able to make people do stuff. Black folks are still talking about voting. That's bullshit. You need to know who snorted some coke last night. I live here in D.C. Who's screwing kids? Why did they screw kids? Do you follow what I'm saying? That Cynthia McKinney caught a lot of hell when she was in Congress. But part of it is she knew about people that were going to these sex parties and stuff, or knew of people that were going. People hated her. She may run her mouth. Like, shut that black bitch up. She talks too much. They're afraid she's going to say something. Are you understanding me? When real power sometimes means that you have to. If you saw that movie that came out a few years ago on Lincoln, and they were trying to get the I forget what it was. Oh, they were trying to get the 13th Amendment through, and they really showed how politics was done. That they would go up to each politician. One says, "I just hate niggas so much. I know it's right. I hate them. No, I won't support it. There's nothing they could do for me. Period. I just hate them." Then there was another one that says, "I hate niggas, but if you give my cousin a job, I'll vote for your 13th Amendment." That's how things are done here. It's not who votes. You're stupid if you think that, although it's important. But the voting can be hacked. In reality, it makes more sense to control the politicians, to control the party. It would be better if we have enough wicked ass black people. Some folks need to have some orgies. I wouldn't go to it. I'm against it. And get some video of these politicians, and say, "I'm going to show your wife. In fact, I'm going to have this stuff streamed on Netflix." That you just say, if we don't get an anti-black crime bill, everybody's going to know that you screwed this 13-year-old boy in the Cub Scout unit that your wife used to run. Adam Clayton Powell was the greatest black politician we ever had, because as a preacher, knowing how to get into people's business and guilt tripped them off that Babylonian system, that's how you really make people do stuff. You're either giving them money or you're threatening them, saying, "Your wife doesn't know that you're screwing your chief of staff." And we have pictures and everything. We've got video. So either you're going to do this or we're going to do you. I thank you for your support. You're such a wonderful man. This country's a greater person for you. That's how it really is. God, make this not be true. Okay, let me just say to you, I remember being on the board of trustees at Howard University, and they were trying to raise the tuition, which they did raise, and they falsified the vote. But I said to the President Howard, President Swigert, "Why do you guys want to raise our tuition?" I says, "If y'all you're trying to raise $3 million or get $3 million, you wouldn't have to have $3 million if you had a real sexual harassment code that you held people accountable." I said, "There's a person in this room that's cost university $3 million for sexual harassing people, telling folks to grab her boobs." And they start yelling and screaming at the meeting. It was true. I mean, this woman basically told this woman to touch her titties in the office, and they had to pay all this money out. It really happened. So I said, "Y'all basically using our tuition increases to cover up for the filthy boule habits of the people up here." And they did, by the way, they rigged an election to get my ass off, shut them up. But I had people listening, and one of the people that's voted for what I said, and they changed the vote, was Felicia Rashad. I love her. That information is power. I mean, black folks back in the day used to get stuff because they knew stuff. They knew that this white dude across town had a black family. They knew that white woman just was addicted to black dick. Her husband would kill the whole city if he knew how much black dick she had. She's always smiling with her little, genteel lisp. This is power that we've had that we refuse to use. Why? Because the very people that we're voting for that are black are compromised. There's something wrong with a bunch of them, like, Tim Scott looking like Viola Davis. Put that picture up. He looks like Woman King. Show that nigga. They're not going to support him right now. And you need to take him down and put Viola Davis up. Do it separately. Put her up so the face isn't squished, and because he looks just like Viola Davis from Woman King. Put that little nappy hair she got on him. He does look like Woman King, and he may be a Woman King. Okay, I'm just saying he can't get the full support. He can't take off as a Republican candidate for nominee because he's not married, and people are hinting. We've never seen him with the woman. Hint, 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 hint. Have you had some pussy lately? Have you had pussy lately? It used to be, We're not asking you for more than we deserve. We just want to know if you're down with that P word. Da, 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 what have you? Okay, look, Tim Scott won't be the first person because remember when Donald Trump said that he would give out Lindsey Graham's phone number?
Mm, I
Did you
remember.
understand? He's implying that Lindsey Graham's gay. Okay, and that's what it says. Y'all want Lindsey's number? I'll give it to you. I'll give. Donald Trump did some gay politics on Lindsey Graham. That's why Lindsey Graham don't mess with Donald Trump. Donald Trump will out his ass. This is how DC works. It's not what they're doing on the Sunday show. This shit at 11, 12 o'clock. Fuck all that. Lindsey Graham, who looks like Angela Lansbury. Okay. He's not married. You've been out here all this time, and they call him Miss Lindsay. I mean, people know that they think he's a queen, right? So you got two guys who've never been married that are the senators in South Carolina. You know, Lindsey Graham can't run for president. Notice he's not running this time. Why won't Lindsey Graham run? Because Donald Trump will do that same shit to him. There was another person that was going to run for president or vice president, and then it came out, that they've never been married. Oh, it's a black woman. I love it. I'm having fun. Hi, Ebony. It came out that what's her name? The one that looks like black female Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
Help me out. What's her name? The one that looks like you could kick a field goal through her teeth. And it's good. Condoleezza Rice,
Yeah.
right? Condoleezza Rice is. And maybe it's changed, but years ago, Condoleezza Rice had lived with the same white woman. They had a joint bank account and everything. She's been living with the same white woman for like 30 years. When Condoleezza was looking to go out, people go put it out there. Hey, Condi, why you have the same bank account as a white woman? How come no man? I mean, there's no dude. Nobody could get up in there. No powerful white dude who hates black people, because we know sisters like Zaddies that hate black people. That's a real turn on to them. I'm special. He likes me. He's got a big lynch rope around their neck. So when they screw, he has like a noose on her neck, and he's calling her nigger. Oh, just call me nigger. Oh, yes. Are you my nigger? Yes, I'm your nigger, master. I said, do you like me? Right. Okay, there are a lot of some people that are sadomasochistic in our community. But I'm saying that Condoleezza Rice has not tried to run for anything since 2007. They were talking about her running, and then all of a sudden, this white woman, I'm serious, this white woman that looks like, who does she look like? This white woman that looks like a cross between Punky Brewster and Rachel Maddow. And then all of a sudden, you haven't heard shit from Condoleezza Rice since 2007. Because someone says, now we use you, you little conservative bitch, talking about the mushroom cloud and shit. We used you. But don't you jump out here and try to get to where we real white men that want to be women. We'll stomp your black ass. In fact, how dare you be with one of our women? Okay, so I'm not saying that she's with one, but that's what was going on here in D.C. And then there was another thing. They had this dinner where Condoleezza Rice slipped up and called George Bush her husband, and white women dropped more teaspoons in China. So, there was a rumor that she was like a pair of Crocs that everybody uses in the kitchen. You know how people use little Croc shoes, to walk around, go outside or do something. She was like a pair of boots that was shared between the Bushmen. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying it's some rumor.
And how they did it, if they put Condoleezza Rice, basically was over college football.
Mm-hmm.
A lifetime politician is now basically on the board for football.
Mm-hmm. Well, all I'm going to say to you is that Condoleezza Rice disappeared right after she's going to run for high office. When you do that, people scrutinize. All of a sudden, people say it doesn't matter. Love is love. Bullshit. bullshit in DC on one hand. On one hand, they'll tell you do whatever you want to, and then when you do whatever you want to, they come and get you for it. So you wonder what happened to Condoleezza Rice. Look back at 2007. She was news all the time. Then all of a sudden, she disappeared. You don't. I'm not saying that she's not still out there, but you don't see Condoleezza Rice and big gap teeth. I'm telling you, I could kick a field goal through them. Okay, just she's gone. She's gone. Oh why? Oh why? What went wrong? Well, maybe it's a prosthesis dong that you had. So I'm just trying to say to you that power. So Donald Trump, whatever they have in him, has not frightened him. So Tim Scott, Uvaldo Davis looking as, and I have to say this, I didn't tell you this, but I met some people that work with Tim Scott. One of these Latino boys, oh my God, because I did some stuff with power. Let me just say to you, the Republican Party, a whole lot of that comes to the young Republicans, and that's basically a dick-sucking paradise. I've never been a young Republican. I never did. That you have a bunch of white gay boys who are connected, who all love white men and white maleness, or they'll let in Latinos, and there may be a black dude who they punk around and they let him be just, don't be with nobody like you. You have to be American and patriotic. I'm just telling you, I've been very active with the Republican Party, one of the most powerful groups, the log cabin Republicans, super rich white gay men that are down with just hardcore, like, degeneracy. They're a very powerful group in the Republican Party, and you have to deal with them. I mean, it's sort of like the casting couch in Hollywood. They don't talk about it. There's some real shit there, and they are powerful. And you have to deal with them. Even Donald Trump had a big thing for the log cabin Republicans in Mar-a-Lago within the last few weeks. I'm just saying to you, and I want to go somewhere. Tim Scott had a bunch of white guys working for him. One of them was Latino, and he helped them set up Sunpack. And this Latino dude, I'm just telling you, when you see these people and they're doing like this Eddie Long thing, and they're just surrounded by lots of young men. Be concerned. I remember working as a butler up in the Capitol doing an event, and I saw the Speaker of the House with a young guy who I knew from Howard, who was nephew of the Dean of the Chapel at Howard University, and he was surrounded by young people. This is an old-ass, raggedy, broke-down white man surrounded by good-looking young folks in nice clothes. Y'all don't understand. I'm trying to tell you. It's pedophile heaven up there on Capitol Hill. And I saw that dude, and I looked at him. I never saw his ass again. He disappeared off Howard's campus. You didn't see him. I don't know if he finished Howard. Something happened. And I'm wondering if Hastert or somebody grabbed that dude by the dick or the ass. The dude didn't appreciate it, and he had to like get out of town. Something happened. That's how it is here. So I'm saying to you, the power. So you could take Tim Scott down. I'm tired of looking at him and you're gassing out your audience. If black folks are going to have power, she does look like him. She does look like him, and she would patch that shit up in her eyebrow. So when you start looking at this is disgusting. The politics, it's not the shit that is for the people. It's this eyes wide shut stuff. Black folks need to learn how to operate, because if folks had dirt on Chris Christie, and folk have dirt, the AKAs are defending Kamala. They're not going to talk about what she did to cross over.
They will never speak ill about Kamala.
Mm-mm.
No, under no circumstances will they ever even publicly speak ill of Kamala.
But if you understand, WikiLeaks put out that all these Greek letter organizations, black, had like homo stuff for you to get through. So basically, these are stud organizations.
You guys in the chat, y'all remember the reality show that came out a couple years ago trying to expose the fraternities? The fraternities are so powerful, they got that reality show off TV. quickly because they didn't want nobody to expose the stuff that's going on there.
Hmm. Now, let's work the bottom. Okay, we know that Feinstein is on her way to hell if she's not already there. Enjoy the heat. We know that Biden, he can't last much longer. You see Kamala Harris, white folks aren't going to take her. You can forget that.
You're not black if you don't vote for me.
Well, she's not black, and
What?
people are tired of her. The white folks are really angry at her, and I think the only people that seem to understand how I feel are people who are white who are prejudiced. I mean, shout out to prejudiced white people. They're the only ones keeping this game straight, because the Boule Negroes would have everything mixed up and tell everybody, we are the world. We need our own political parties. We need a lot of stuff, but we need our own CIA, the same way the Israelis and everybody else, the Turks, all spy on the U.S. government. We're too busy trying to get in with people that are compromised. It's kind of stupid. So Kamala, she's compromised. Chris Christie, he's crooked. And see, he better watch it. Let's just deal with Chris Christie's butterball looking ass. Now, he looks like Lucy from Peanuts became a man in real life.
It's my former governor. Be careful, man.
But he's not shit. And he's mad that Trump got rid of him. Now, let's just talk about him for a second, why he's not going to get nowhere. You know that Chris Christie had, what's this boy's name? Donald Trump's son-in-law, the one that looks like Julia Roberts from Sound of Music. Okay. Kushner's father was setting up people. He set up wasn't it a governor or something in New Jersey that got busted? He set him up for sleeping with the dude. He did that Jewish Mossad stuff, right?
It was McGreevy.
Okay, he had McGreevy set up with the man. What Kushner's dad was doing for power was blackmailing men by setting them up with men and then using the sexual information to make them do what he wanted. And Chris Christie busted his ass. Chris Christie is therefore hated by Kushner, who's the favorite son-in-law up until Donald Trump lost in 2020. His favorite son-in-law hates Chris Christie. So the Kushners, that means Ivanka and the son-in-law, hate Chris Christie. So understand that the Trump people are never going to support Christie, and they're the ones who control the party. Donald Trump has basically rebooted and hijacked the Republican Party. The same way that Jesse Jackson had all these black folks come into the Democratic Party when he ran in 84 and 88, which changed the nature of the Democratic Party. And what the whites had to do is create the DLC, the Democratic Leadership Council, as a means to get racist white conservative governors and politicians to form a group to destroy any power that black people did have among Democrats. The rhinos have not been able to really stop have not been able to stop Trump directly. They've had to partner with the Democrats to try to prevent him. So whether you like Cheeto, that's the nickname for Trump, Orange Man, he's created a movement. Even though he's not a politician, they've become more sophisticated. So they have a ground game everywhere, which is why Trump is like 60% of the people are going to vote for Trump no matter what. He's the only person that has that kind of thing moving, and it's organic. These are people that are committed to him. So Kamala Harris, she's out. People know she's a hoe. They know that she's lying about being an Indian. They know that she doesn't really have a constitutional right to even be vice president. She's crooked. She's done illegal stuff with Wells Fargo. She's covered up black murders in California that people haven't even brought out. I'm affiliated with the woman that has a federal lawsuit against her for covering up the murder and obstructing justice for Mitrice Richardson. Kamala is dead meat. I've already told you, Tim Scott, he may want to be vice president, but nobody will want him. He's not strong enough. He's going to have to say something. And while he says America isn't racist, and yet you become senator and part off of the mass shooting at Emmanuel Church, you get your damn posts practically. Not, well, actually, you didn't get the post, but you got even more power and authority in the state of South Carolina because black folks got massacred. Because I think you got in the Senate in 2013. The massacre took place in 2015. You've benefited from black folks being murdered. And so, please. Of course, DeSantis, he's meltdown. That shooting in Jacksonville, among other things, has tarnished DeSantis. Plus, DeSantis is Italian American. He's Sicilian. And people need to understand that white people do have a hierarchy. And Southern Europeans are basically, they see them as niggers passing. No matter how hateful they are, no matter how hard they are on black people, they're not Anglos. They're not WASP. They don't trust them completely. You won't see anybody. The closest thing you've had was Spiro Agnew, who was Greek, and they kicked his ass out. He was thrown out back in the 70s, got busted for corruption. They don't let Southern Europeans get but so high. They're not white enough. They're not the right kind of white people. These folks are into bloodlines. And the sad thing is, you and I, all of us listening, we FBA folks, whether we like it or not, we have more bloodlines in common with some of these wealthy white families than these people from Eastern Europe or other places, which is another reason why DeSantis is such a sore loser. That a black person is actually more likely to be president. In fact, the only reason DeSantis won the gubernatorial race in Florida is because the sodomite, what's his name, Andrew Gillum, refused to campaign in Southern Florida and insisted on being seen in seemingly homoerotic photographs with the gay white dude looked like he was reaching in his drawers, smiling in front of the Statue of Liberty. I'm trying to think, why would you do that? And so Trump saved DeSantis. A black dude literally would have beat his ass in Florida had Andrew Gillum, who's Greek, he's Boule. If this Boule gay dude had been willing to really ask for support from blacks in the southern part of the state, he would have won. In fact, let me just say this. Black women turned on Andrew Gillum in 2018 because of the homo stuff, and he lost 20% of the black female vote. That's why DeSantis is in the position. So basically, we had a choice between a white bigot and a black sodomite who would cheat on his own wife, who's kind of cute, if you ask me. And we picked the racist. The sisters picked the racist daddy over the down low daddy. And of course, at the end we have you see that Mahalia Jackson lookalike, the chairman,
Jamie.
Jamie. Or Gamey, Gamey, embarrassing.
Nancy says she might make a run again.
Who?
Pelosi.
Okay, well, let's hold on. So let's just deal with Jamie Harrison. We saw the sisters embarrass his ass at Howard University. That hasn't even been rolled out in the national media. Don't be surprised if you don't see the video attacking Jamie Harrison rolled out and used. And so he's going to be disgraced. Above him is Hakeem Jeffries. He's a high yellow dude from New York who is controlled by the Zionists, who couldn't care less about black people. He downplayed who got killed in Jacksonville. He's dogged out the black folks in New York City. And stop obsessing over the fact that he's related to the Jeffries that talks about the ice people, snow people. This dude is a no people. Okay, he doesn't care about black folks. He only cares about himself and his family. And let me see. We're going to come back to Kennedy. He is, if you have to vote for two white guys, choose these two at the top. And if you stay home, that's your business. That's like whether you use missionary position or female superior. We didn't ask you. Nancy Pelosi, she basically could be, the Miss Universe of Scarecrows at a pageant. She's evil. Her father's evil. Her brother's evil. One of her brothers, I believe, it's possible that her brother and other guys gang raped two black girls in 1951 and got off. Her family's connected to the mafia that's brought dope and allowed police terror of black folks in Baltimore. And she's in California. She's helped destroy the black community there. She's evil. She was friends with the congressman that worked with Jim Jones that did the massacre of black folks in South America. She and Feinstein had that in common. And it's interesting that she's going back to California with the body of Feinstein. And I was saying to myself, you don't miss your meat until it's gone. I hope there's nothing filthy going on there. But when you think about the fact that Nancy Pelosi's husband, and it's a big thing in California for people to get hammers stuck up their ass. And remember, they were fighting over the hammer. I had forgot. There's a book called Things Found Inside. It's a book from people who do internal medicine. And they were showing how people had handguns up their ass, cooking utensilry, pots and pans. They had text from Toy Story. One person had an anti-aircraft shell up their ass. Other people had bullets, 8-track tapes, VHS tapes. I don't know how that tape didn't come unraveled because that little black thing flips up. These people had light bulbs up their ass. They had all kinds of stuff. This is from California. And so people put all kinds of stuff up their ass. And people had tools, hammers, right? A mallet. So you think, what are they fighting over? What happened with Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi? Did they have an argument over who was going to get the hammer stuck up their ass? And that's when things got rough. And remember, I mean, how many people fight with a home invader with a glass of wine in one hand in their drawers?
Another case thrown under the rug.
Well, yes, and remember, the guy hit him on the head. I think, remember, even the so-called intruder, he paused at first. And I'm thinking he wondered if the cops were part of the little sex ritual. Oh, well, good. So my company, that's really, man, Paul, you really nasty. I didn't know you would bring these buff guys. If they found they're real cops, that's what you bitch. Pap. I mean, that's how it looked to me, right? That's how that shit looked to me.
He said, oh, you got buddies here.
Until he found that they were real cops. You snitching me, you bitch. And so, Nancy Pelosi said she's going to run in 2024. I would run too. The only question is can her husband stay out of trouble? See, what if her husband picks up one of these illegals? Oh, wouldn't that be something? If a migrant carjacked her husband? Oh, man. I bet you they'll close the border then. Woo, shit, man, they'd be putting crocodiles and piranhas and shit in the moat. And of course, this dude from Get Out, I never saw that movie. No, and I never did. I mean, I'm not interested.
That's me right there.
No, that's a simp voter who thinks that voting for pork chop feminists is going to keep him from getting his nuts pulled off. Anyway, keep dreaming, cool. Now, let's talk about Cornel West's sorry ass. Now, aside from looking like a sea anemone, okay, that's on crack, he would do us all a favor to pay attention to his grooming. You don't have to look like a homeless person that shops at Goodwill's consignment and gets suits. Now, he needs to get a mustache trim, a beard trim, and get that butt. And if you care so much about the environment and greenhouse effect, wear natural clothes, not polyester. He always has artificial shit on. Now, let's just talk about Cornel West for a second. Now, Cornel West did more bitching about Obama not giving him some fucking inaugural tickets for him and his mama back in 2009. Then he gave pushback on Bernie Sanders being against reparations. West, you're a hypocrite. Aside from that, you're addicted to white pussy. We all know this. And you're not alone, but nobody talks all this black stuff as much as you do. And what, you've been married like 5 times, 4 of them are white. Are you trying to break a record as a hypocrite? I'm just asking. He's been out here long enough. Where's his institution? Where's it? I mean, he's with Black Lives Matter. You call yourself a black man, and yet you're running with that stud, Bell Hooks, the woman that looked like a bullfrog with glasses that died within the last 2 years. And, I know my Redeemer liveth. I mean, Bell Hooks, that book, Ain't I a Woman? I don't know. You don't want to be a woman. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're not a fucking woman. Maybe you're a dude. I mean, it's what you think. Everything's folks' opinions. Now this stuff is under feminism. This damn women's movement has really, really fucked things up. So Cornel West talks a good game. I would just say to you, and I'll stick to it. The allegations is he was kicked out of Harvard because he was screwing at least one of his students. One of them got pregnant. Harvard had to pay at least 7 figures to the white girl. That's some expensive pussy, Cornell. Anyway, and I think she had the baby. He may have even married the woman he was screwing when he was at Harvard. He had a wife that was black when he was really brilliant. And it's alleged he was like, basically, doing Rock'em Sock'em Robots black style and shit. Like he was playing Ike Turner and Mr. from The Color Purple and What's Love Got to Do with It, tap dancing on this woman's head, and she's doing his academic work. So, I mean, when a black man, for all this rumor, I absolutely can't work with the black man that makes it his habit to beat the shit out of a black woman. Yes, I hate feminism, but I hate abuse of women. It's just women and children. I know we're on the same page, aren't we, Brother Q?
Yeah.
You beating on black women, fuck you. I don't care what kind of politics you talking. All I know is it's alleged you kick a woman's ass. You haven't come out and apologized. You haven't got no help. If it's true, and by the way, Cornel West has children. You don't see them out anywhere because I think I knew one of them at Howard. They were all damaged and shit. They were messed up. So we know that you drink. So you may be an alcoholic. I hope you don't do weed too. But I know that you drink. I know that you're color struck and you favor people who are light skinned. Sure you do. Yes, I said it. I don't care. That's a trigger for me when you don't like dark skinned people. That Dr. Short don't like colorists and y'all. I mean, I don't like that. That'll set me off. If you're calling yourself a Black American, African American, and you don't like dark skin, I can't work with that shit either. That's just a war for me. Fuck you.
One of the telltale signs for me is that he never says black people. He loves to say black, brown, and our Latino brothers and sisters. I don't want to hear that shit.
That's because he's tricked out to everybody. They own him. Cornel West is basically a liberal white racist party piece. The bottom bitch. They use him. They roll his ass out. He's for all these causes and shit. I don't care. Every cause except for the black cause. And if you saw his book, Black Lives Matter, or no. What's this book
Race
called?
Matters.
Race Matters, where he blamed black people for their poverty.
Yep.
And because he's got that fucked up hairdo, and because he wears a little stranger, and he's got the snaggletooth and shit, I'm telling you, Dino from the Flintstones got better bridge than him. Now you have enough money to get your teeth fixed up. You make yourself look like I don't know, like a Vietnam veteran and shit. And you look like a Vietnam veteran that doesn't like getting your hair cut. That's not impressive. That's not radical to me. You could be stylish, you could be flashy, you could be polished, but you'll always see him up around white liberals. But he's for baby killing, he's for LGBTQ, he's for trans, he's for the illegals.
Today's Mustang Musing said the right word. He's dressed like an undertaker.
Yeah, but no, he's dressed like a cadaver. I mean, the Undertaker just hasn't found the right casket so he can fit that hair in at the top. I mean, his casket will have to be shaped like a microphone to accommodate that big ass bush he's got, like he's still in the Jackson 5. Come on, nigga.
So Dr. Short, it's obvious that not obvious for everybody, and I understand how people may feel because a lot of times people vote off of their emotions instead of their intellect.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of our people make children off of emotions, and look at how they end up
Well,
dead in the
we
streets.
have
Mass
some questions.
incarcerated, school to prison pipeline,
We have
kids
some
committing
questions from
suicide, kids on drugs. We need to get off of emotion. Emotions don't mean a whole lot, really. A lot of folks kill people in the heat of emotion, then spend the rest of their life like, I didn't even know. I know I was going to shoot. I mean, God, I'm so tired of the childish, infantile stuff. So what's the question?
All right.
Let's deal with some questions. We've deliberately, I hope you guys agree it's a choice of crackers, unless we have our own black party. Like I said, I want a Kool-Aid party for the broke niggas like me who are not rich, for
The
us to
lesser of
talk
the
real
two.
black shit.
I don't really like saltines. Saltines is too salty. I don't like salt too much, Dr.
Well, you don't
Short.
like Ritz?
Yeah. It's
Okay,
too
well,
much salt. I'm not a salt eater. I don't,
what about Triscuits?
they're okay. Even if I get French fries, if I'm in a fast food and I get French fries, I tell them no salt. They look at me crazy.
Oh, let me tell you, we were up on Howard's campus after we went off on Jamie Harris and those two sisters. I was telling them that the McDonald's across the street from Howard used to be the gay dude that would make French fries, and he hated black people, and he would just be fuck you, motherfuckers. He'd just be putting salt on the fries, motherfuckers. He just had that fucking salt can. I mean, that shit would be covered in salt. Fuck niggas. I hate motherfuckers. And there was so much salt on those fries. He was just trying to give everybody a heart attack. I'll never forget them gay ass dude. Fuck those motherfuckers. Fuck Howard. Fuck these motherfuckers. Fuck it. I need some more salt. Fuck this motherfucker. Thank you, motherfucker. What's the die, motherfucker? And he would just sit there and curse and shake salt on the fries, even when they're in the box.
Yeah. So, Dr. Short, the first question, ask Dr. Short, will 25% of black male votes get Trump elected?
I think they got him elected last time. The question is, will he be selected after he gets elected? Will we be able to overturn this system that gave us this predator with the nasty son and the daughter who's used to her nose being penis level with her dad in the shower? I mean, that's enough to make people want, why sisters can love a dude whose dick is on his daughter's nose and he's white too. Why he could get 90 some odd % of black female votes. That lets me know a lot of sisters trick out their children, male and female, based on how they feel. That's why we have a pedophilia epidemic. It's that pedophilia it's okay depending on who benefits from it, instead of all of it being wrong. I believe that Donald Trump will get maybe 35% of the black male vote, if not 40. I believe he'll do a lot better, but he's going to have to offer something. If people like Washington, Isaiah Washington, and others who have now approached Trump and said they've got to make reparations part of their platform. If Trump's people make reparations part of the platform, I think he's going to get the sky's the limits if they will really do that.
Do you think that if Kennedy runs as an independent, he will be like Ralph Nader and bleed Democratic votes to ensure a Republican win?
I'm certain he will. And I also know that Kennedy is open to talking about reparations.
I just want to say something.
Which reparation? If Kennedy starts talking about reparations, it's going to hurt Biden.
One quick thing. If Kennedy is the nominee, and we know Trump is going to
No, he's going to run as an independent.
Okay.
If he runs as an independent, nobody's enthusiastic about Biden. I don't believe he got all those votes. Nobody does. They're doing everything to defend him. They've let me tell you, they've blown so much smoke up in his ass. He could be a volcano
And,
to
and
make
let's
him
and
be
let's get
something.
one thing straight. Donald Trump and RFK Jr. will never attack each other personally. Politically, yes, but not personally.
They like each other. They're friends, and they both dislike Biden.
Yep. All right, next question, Dr. Short. What does Dr. Short think about the candidates that are independent that aren't getting mainstream coverage? They're not getting. See, I live in a state where you could declare independent. There's a lot of states in the union where you have to declare one of the two parties. The last major election, the Democrats and the Republicans did some slick stuff in Pennsylvania, and they basically took a lot of the independent candidates off the ballot. So I know that happened in Pennsylvania. I'm quite sure it happened in other states. So independent candidates without the name recognition is always going to have a major uphill battle.
Yeah, it's set against them, and in reality, let me see. The Green Party is a pro-democratic party, and so what the Greens are likely to do is they'll split. I believe the Greens will go to Cornel West. They'll split three ways. Cornel West. Some will go to Biden, not as many, and some will go to Kennedy. I think that Cornel West, if he runs, if we have two independents run, I think that Kennedy will hurt West. West will get some black folks that are determined to vote for a black person. It's the same way we don't get upset if people are black, are rapists and murderers in our community as much as if they're white. That folk will just go melanin for Cornel West. But I don't think that Cornel West is going to be, I think that he'll get some support. But Robert Kennedy will get support from Latinos and from whites. So it's going to be an interesting race. If they put Biden up again, I just don't think he'll do well against more likable candidates, more interesting candidates. Again, Trump will get the Republican primary unless they kill him. If they kill him, we're not going to have an election next year. Not like it's going to shoot. We're going to be like Bosnia and the former Yugoslavia.
Oh, all of a sudden they're going to be talking about it suspended. Yeah, we know why it's suspended. It's an uproar going on.
If they hurt Trump, we're going to have real violence in this country. It's unfortunate.
This person has two questions, so I'm going to just combine both questions for you, Dr. Short. What do you think about term limits and drug testing for Congress?
I love it. I think every office holder, if they're doing that for McDonald's and for small little jobs and shit to punish black people, for high-ranking people should have drug tests. They should test their hair to see if there's weed in them. And not only that, they should also be like CIA agents, required for people to go through their finances every 3-4 years to find out, to see, because you shouldn't be able to be as rich as Nancy Pelosi, as rich as Diane Frankenstein was. I mean, people should not, there's some bribery, there's some kind of illegal activity going on, and that should be there. And yes, term limits. I have a buddy, her name is Ann Coles. I was telling you about it the other day, Brother Quentin. She got into the Senate in Canada in 1984. She's the longest serving senator in the history of Canada. She had to retire at the age of 75 in 2018. You could not stay. Okay? Once you understand it, that's, people should be forced out. We shouldn't have a bunch of racist geriatrics. And also boomer coon sellout Negroes who miss typewriters and horse and buggies and shit and don't understand the internet or any of that kind of stuff. They think TikTok is like a coffee brand. We shouldn't have people out of touch in that. In fact, they should force people out. And I wish it were in religious stuff as well. I'm not trying to be funny, but a lot of folks are in their 80s and 90s. They need to step the hell down. So yes, I love term limits. It would be nice to get rid of Maxine, to get rid of the one here in DC, to get rid of Clyburn. By a certain age, say age 80, their ass is out. And I think 80 is generous. Maybe 78, they should get the fuck out. Yes, keep them rolling.
All right. This is an interesting question here. If reparations were offered, but under the conditions that some other group of people get it too, do we take the deal?
That's not a deal. That's like someone raping you and you taking some of the settlement money and giving it to a person that was in a sexual harassment suit that had nothing to do with you. We need to stop compromising. Jewish people don't share reparations with gypsies or blacks or Slavs. They get it for Jews. See, this is what happens. My cousin, who's one of the president of the National Black Farmers Association, that $5 billion that they said they're going to give to black farmers is bullshit. They're going to give $1.25 billion to blacks, $1.25 billion to Latinos, Asians, gays, and others. Black folks would only get 25%. See, the minute that they say split that shit up, it means that someone black has to take a cut. They didn't get lynched like we did. They didn't get whipped. They didn't get segregated. Fuck them. It's for us or nobody, and we've got to be like that. And we have to stop. We have to stop selling out and taking less than. It's the weak slave boomer mentality. Or at least the glass is half filled. No, I want mine fucking running over on the counter.
And it must be lineage based. It is very, very important.
Just us. And not only that, white folk who've been living as black people, if you were a Klansman or you sold out and you knew that you were part black, you and your family can't get it. Mm-hmm. We've got to have a way to make certain that nobody can come and put their fucking finger in our pie. It's our shit. It's my bucket of chicken. Even if I have to eat it all till I get a stomachache, it's mine. We have to start saying stuff is ours, exclusively unique to us, like our hip hop, like our music. If you share that, why not share your asshole and everything else with other people who hate you?
That's right.
Next.
Do you think Newsom will appoint Kamala for Feinstein's seat?
No.
Basically, they're trying to say that she's going to resign as the vice president. He's going to appoint her in Feinstein's seat, and then he's going to become the vice president. I saw that floating around.
Okay, they can't do that.
Yeah, that's circumventing. That's circumventing the Constitution, you guys.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking he would put Barbara Lee, and she kind of looks like the Grinch that stole Christmas. You want me to send you a picture? Barbara Lee has the same face as the Grinch that stole Christmas.
So I saw a comment, Ebony, that you had made, and I want to bring it to Dr. Short's attention. A lot of people don't understand, Dr. Short, the Kennedy angle and why he's and I know you spoke about it, but why he's the outlier of the Democratic Party.
He's not what the big pharmaceutical corporations control the media. They control a lot of the organizations. They're major donors to the political parties. They own the CBC. And in fact, they bought the black church. That's why the preachers were supporting you guys getting killed. Kennedy, his little nasty sister, Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, when I saw her in 2019, she had a broken foot. Her head was broken too. She just didn't know it. She had a black woman running after her like a maid. It was wild. It was so racist. His sister lost the gubernatorial race back in the 90s to to Ehrlich. Ehrlich is a white Republican who had the black guy Steele, Michael Steele, run as the lieutenant governor. Because I basically gave some advice to people: run a black person with them, they'll destroy it. Kathleen Kennedy, his sister, is so racist and hates black people so much. She made the black folks of all places the weak ass niggas in Prince George's County, the deceitful boule, these Negroes that think the American Foreign Legion is in the ACP. And the Black Panthers put together. They're so out there. Damn, the Prince George's County Negroes are weak and stupid. They think because they have big homes and they've got money, and yet they hate being black. It's so sad. She made those coons not vote for her. And like I said, Ehrlich only needs like 14% of the black vote to destroy Kathleen. And he got it. And that hoe hasn't run for anything since because she can't. So the Kennedys, a lot of them, I guess they're like the Kings. They're tired of standing up. They're tired of folks getting shot. They just want to make money and they're big. And he's out here still trying to do car shit. And they've seen all their loved ones get shot up. The little nigga that went down with the plane a few years ago with this woman. There's a lot of trauma in these families. It doesn't excuse the bullshit that they do. So some people are tired of dying, tired of getting killed, tired of being targeted. They just want to live, right? And so Kennedy is still pushing it. He's still looking. Okay, so he's unique in his generation. Think about it. A lot of times you have a significant person, like you have a Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. That's your father. It's not you. And it's not your sorry ass mother. It's him. The great person was the man in the family. It's not the kids. And black folks treat everything like it's some kind of church. Well, you're a preacher. Your dad was a preacher. You're gonna be one too. You don't have no say in it. Black folks are all into royalty and dynastic bullshit. When that shit got us sold over here by the fucked up Africans. Okay, we're stupid. Stop looking for dynasty. Start letting individuals through their own achievement make it versus something being handed to them. Not that you won't have people hand stuff to their children, but when you create an aristocracy that's around bullshit and heritage, so I don't have to be anybody. I'm just going to be your pastor or your representative or your leader. I don't care a fuck about you. I don't like you, but this is my dad. So it's more like our family than it is about me helping the people. Hi, King family. Okay, when it's like that, and it's because you've given so much, your family's given so much, so you don't owe anybody anything, then those folks end up thinking that they're in a ruling class and they see the white folks that oppress us as their peers, their colleagues. Have you ever been around black professionals and they're around white professionals? Oh, he's my colleague. So black cops will sit up and watch a white cop beat a black person half to death, and what they see is blue, they don't see black. That's what you get when you have these dynastic families, unless you have an exceptional person, which you do have with Robert Kennedy Jr., although there's a lot of stuff, like I sent him some advice that he needs to get up off the fag shit. Please don't choke us with gayness. Black folks we've had gay people. We have gay people everywhere. We had Little Richard. We had James Baldwin. We had sorry ass Caribbean Barrett Rustin's ass. We've had gay people. What's her name? Rosetta Thorpe, the mother, got one of God's mothers of electric gospel. She's a stud, right? The black woman, Bessie Smith, is a stud. Langston Hughes is gay. We've had black gay folk, and we either loved them or we didn't like them, but we've liked a whole bunch. And nobody sat up talking about whether Langston Hughes is getting fucked up the ass. We like his poem, What Does Africa Mean to Me, right? We didn't sit up worrying about who's fucking who, because we've got too much to worry about surviving white people. So please, if you want to reach black folks, don't come with a whole bunch of rainbow flags and shit. You need to tell them to tone that shit down. So are you understanding me? So we're sending advice to Kennedy. We want reparations. And, my motto is check C, condom no. Can y'all say that? Like it used to be Cuba C, Yankee no. Well, we're saying check C, like a reparations check, yes. Condom no. We're tired of all this sexuality shit. I don't care. I don't care if you've got a pubic hairball in your throat, like Hillary Clinton sounds like she has. We want our motherfucking money. I don't care about people's asses being blown out. I don't care if you want your titties cut off. I want freedom.
I want to ask the chat a question, because I noticed something amongst us that I don't think a lot of people know. It's a three-part question. What do you think MAGA is? Do you think Donald Trump is MAGA? Or do you think MAGA is something else with Donald Trump? Because it's very important that people understand what the base of what they're saying is. And as Black Americans, we need to understand what that is offering, and definitely what the traditional Democrat is offering.
And you know what? The Democrats have FAGA, force America to be gay again. And I don't want FAGA.
Yeah, you was right on point with that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I really want people to understand that if I don't know if you guys live in a MAGA stranglehold or ever really conversated with somebody that believes in the MAGA agenda, but outside of reparations and some other things, it's really no difference than talking to a person that's Black American. Okay, Ebony said, I believe MAGA is Anglo and Ellis Islanders who side with America via the globalist ideas. Interesting. You know, Ebony, I grew up in that area, so I know most of the people that came, most of the descendants of Ellis Island, and I know how they think. They definitely are part of the globalist agenda. Being gay is not a compliment. Okay, engaging. MAGA is about improvement of America from a white perspective that is native. That's a good one there. Engaging Black Negro. All right, Bruce got a question for you, Dr. Short.
Okay.
He said, how strong are the... Come on, Bruce, really? Bruce. Hold on, Bruce. Dr. Short, how strong are these drugs that after all this chaos caused by Jim Crow Joe, I still see Black people that support Biden, and a lot of them are Gen Xers. What the fuck? What gives?
You know, a lot of Black folks, remember, we used to wonder what it would take with what's his face. Help me out. Tiger Woods, who consistently said that he was Cab Nation, and I always would say he's just a state trooper away from recognizing that he's Black. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
And remember when he got arrested for driving drunk and they said he was Black? You haven't heard Tiger Woods call himself anything since. A lot of our people are in denial and are allowed to be escapist. Right? They're escapists. Well, they're allowed to run away from who they really are. And I'm not saying that you have to be the exact same as me, but we have something in common. A lot of people are running away from being in the Black collective. They don't want it, and I understand that, but just because you don't want it doesn't mean you aren't. It simply means you don't want it.
Ebony, I want to ask you a question. Ebony, I just want to give you a little background about me. I grew up in North Jersey. I'm 49. I know the liberals in that area and how they think. I've been around them. I know the difference between a Sicilian and a Neapolitan. I know the history of the Irish in America. I was around them. I've been in their homes. So, respectfully, I agree with you. Trump is not Trump. We got to realize something. Trump is from that area, right? But Trump has been labeled a racist by the Democratic Party. Is he racist? Probably. However, when it comes to Trump, Trump is about his business. He's a businessman. He's about his money. That's what people in that area is about. They could care less about anything else. So when I speak on the northern New Jersey politics, one of the most corrupt states in the union, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to Governor Christie. I know how he moved.
You mean Krispy Kreme?
Yeah, he actually arrested all of the politicians in New Jersey, from Wayne Bryant to Sharp James, and he basically went after Wayne Bryant. And you guys in the chat could correct me if I'm wrong, and I know I could be wrong what I'm about to say. Wayne Bryant is a descendant from Lawnside. I don't know if you know if Lawnside are descendants of the freedmen. So people in New Jersey know, most of them, they know their history, they know what goes on, they know the politics, they know that Southern Jersey always gets the slack for being racist, but Northern New Jersey is the most racist part of the country. Hold on. So don't think that Trump, they turned on Trump. How Trump won and how Trump will probably win again if he does win is Trump spoke to the base of America. People want to get back to religion. People want to get back to America first. People want to get back to family. People don't want all that other stuff. We ain't talking about if you live in the city. We talking about rural America wants to get back to family, religion, and making money. That's it. So I know what, it's really two different Americas. It's the cities and it's the rural areas. The rural America, Trump's base, speaks to the American people. Stop with the, money to Ukraine. That's speaking to a base. But anyway, excuse me for the rant, Ebony. I just wanted to clear that up.
No, we know that. I think that Trump will work with MAGA to achieve an end. I believe that Trump is a wealthy American, not as wealthy as he had to masquerade to be to get credit. We can all relate to that as being denied credit for whatever reason. Donald Trump is a mixed bag. He loves some people and dislikes others. If you know anybody that knows Trump, he's notorious sometimes for turning on people, and then he's notorious for how kind he can be to people. He's like a mafia person. Sometimes these folks are very honorable about what they're about, even though they do horrible things. But you get somewhat of what it is that you expect. Biden is mafia too, but he dogs everybody.
Let me tell you guys a situation about Trump, right? Now, the Democratic Party and all the major Democrats, they talked about how Trump did that to the exonerated five, right? What was going on in New York City, particularly Central Park at that time, was a whole bunch of real estate was going on. And when that happened, Donald Trump was the most public real estate guy in that area. And
That's right.
He did put out that ad in the paper. But that ad in the paper against them brothers was backed by everyone. Don't let nobody fool you. Everybody backed the ad because everybody was trying to make money for that real estate by Central Park. So he was just the face of that ad.
And he had sunk in. Remember, he put in that hotel. and had put all of that. His whole life was caught up in that project.
And
It was
I haven't
make
been
a
up in
break for him. I don't like the thing. I didn't think that those kids were treated right. But you know what? You had a black mayor who could have spoken up. Dinkins, Sharpton, all of them let those young men down. But you know what? One person that didn't let those young men down was my friend Alton Maddox. And what I want to say to you is, those young men, when they came out and Alton fought for them, they didn't remember Alton once they got out.
And listen, you guys.
So Alton made enemies, fought for them. They got their millions, and they didn't remember the person who fought. He wasn't allowed to get them off. He was prevented. There was someone that was fighting for them, and when they got out, the person that did fight for them, they didn't remember him. See, this is the thing. We need to be clear. I wish they hadn't had their asses in the park in the first place.
A whole lot of folks turned their back on them, man.
I mean, your asses should not have been in that damn park. Folk were out there robbing and shit. And I'm saying what happened to them was wrong. It's a travesty of justice. It should have never happened. I believe they were innocent from the first time I heard about it. But I'm going to say something to you. When you brought up certain families like mine, my parents always told me, beware of who you hang with. You need to have your ass near or inside the house by a certain hour. Right? And it's your ass if you're out there, because they'll lie on you. And we don't have the money to fight all these people because you did something stupid. Had those young men been back home at a decent hour, it would have been a hell of a lot harder to lock their asses up. The parents did not know where their kids were. I know that you didn't have to know where your parents, but I'm telling you, it would have made a difference had the mother, father says, no, my son was here in the house with me. My son was here with me. I saw him, right? Their families couldn't vouch for them. Their family had to take their word. Now, mind you, they may have been somewhere they had no business being, and the family had to come and back them around what may have been not true. I'm not saying that those young folks deserved any of it. I'm saying that there were people that were robbing and hurting people in the park. And some of you who are young don't remember the New York of the 1970s and late 60s. It was a trip. New York used to have way more murders than what they have now. New York may have fewer murders than DC or Detroit, but it used to be New York would have like 2,000 murders in a year. You know what I'm talking about, brother. Folks just stabbing, shooting, gang fights. It was wild up in New York for a while. And to turn New York around for the rich people who own the city, I'm not justifying the rich people doing unfairness. These folks were going to do what they had to do to get their money. And those young folks were sacrificed because they were letting people know we're building the city back and we're not taking any crap off of anybody. We're not going to go back to when the city of New York went bankrupt and the Congress and the whole world turned their back on New York and basically told New York sink or swim. New Yorkers who remember that don't want to be in a situation where you lose everything because the finances of the city went down. I think I'm explaining this clearly.
Yes,
I'm not saying that.
Dr. Short,
Yeah.
Like everybody nowadays want to have this revisionist history, and like you're saying, it's going on in major cities now, where these mayors who are black, who are most of from the Democratic Party, are allowing gentrification
and police murder.
and what we do as black people, we don't know how to navigate or who's at fault. We just think it's just one entity at fault, but it's more than one entity at fault.
And you know what happened after that? Remember Malcolm Shabazz's son, Malcolm X's son, grandson. They didn't even get into that deep, and they let them mess over Lil Malcolm. There was they were doing this all over New York and everywhere else. And that's even with Dinkins. There's a black mayor. There were people with some authority that could have helped out. They didn't risk anything. There are a lot of people that did not help. It was terrible what was done to them. And Donald Trump owes those young men an apology still. And I've said this to people that I know that know Trump. That really should be off of you. That's a stigma. That's something that people remember. It comes off as unfair. It's just terrible. Nobody should have that connected to their name, that they were for railroading people. That's how it comes across.
And we only brought it up for context, you guys, to understand how he was made the face of them getting convicted when it was crooked cops. For those that know that area, the news reporter was crooked. He wound up dying. Like, it was a whole bunch of stuff with the case. One of the kids' parents made him cop out. Who the hell makes their child plead guilty to a crime they didn't make? They didn't commit.
An illegal alien. Don't want to go the fuck back.
And then on top of that, when they got exonerated, you guys, their money was held up in the court system for years. For years. So the movie comes out and it gets the glitter gloss and floss, and the
movie comes out uniquely when Trump is running for office.
We got to understand how they do performative politics. So we're going to close out, you guys. I don't know if it was any more questions.
Because we can do this, and we need to remind people to support this channel, like it, drop donations. You know that we have Patreon and other things. You got to set your account up. You got all this content, my brother. You need to use it. Need to do it like a white person with the channel.
And I know how we do, because we don't listen to everything and put context and stuff. Don't take a sound bite and twist it into what you think was said. Understand the context of what was said during the whole program. Mm-hmm. It was basically to explain to us that these politicians on the flyer, one of them is going to be the president. So you can get involved, you can not get involved. The choice is yours. It's an individual decision. Nobody's telling you who to vote for. But know where you stand as an individual if one of them become president, and know where you stand as a people. And if you say that you're FBA, you're B1, no matter who's the president, we need to still get our motherfucking money, and we need to lobby to get our money and make reparations, lineage-based reparations, part of their agenda, regardless of what goes on.
Mm-hmm. And we know that Biden, he's against reparations. We know that Biden is against reparations.
And we know that he should be owing people more reparations than anything. All right, Bruce, last question, Dr. Short. He said, after Trump's lame duck presidency, who do you think has the best chance to be the leading Republican candidate in 2028? Could DeSantis clean up his rep and become legit he will never, let me explain it to you, Bruce. MAGA will never support DeSantis. They won't do it. MAGA will never support DeSantis.
I will never. I'm against DeSantis. This Black history shit as a history person, I'm forever against him no matter what. There's just nothing he can do for me. If he were, if I were a waterfall and he was on fire, I'd turn into a desert. He is an enemy to our people. I blame him for the shootings in Jacksonville. He may as well have shot them himself. Uh, he's just nothing. He will never be anything to me. Okay, to us, we need to be like Jews. Never again. I'm not forgiving them. Let God tell me that I have to forgive him, and I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna like duck his ass. I'm against him. I'm against DeSantis. Anyone who would actively encourage violence against my people is an enemy for life. His wife's my enemy. Okay. I don't like any of them. And I'm going to tell you something. Any black person that calls himself a Republican or a Democrat talking about forgiving people who would encourage people to mass murder us is a liar and a hypocrite. And they ain't no kind of Christian or whatever they call themselves. They're trash. So you hear anyone screaming about forgiveness and that dude's lips aren't even dry from having cursed us? Nah. To hell with them.
Code, I'm going to answer your question. You say Gavin Newsom is going to be running for president in the future, probably 2028. Want me to tell you what I think about Gavin Newsom? I think that's Bill Clinton 2.0. Gavin Newsom's a liar. Gavin Newsom is a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Gavin Newsom is a liar. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, look at what the brothers and sisters out in California, as far as what they're doing with reparations, and you could see clearly how Gavin Newsom has lied.
And if he does put up Barbara Lee, she's going to have to become more anti-Black to hold that position. And she does look like the Grinch that stole Christmas. Just look at her face. It's just really, just keep watching. Look at how they're trying to manipulate us. We shouldn't go for this stuff. So we ask you to share this. We're going to do some stuff tomorrow. We got to do something on abortion. Yes, we're going to talk about baby killers. If you're guilty out there, y'all know, don't even come. We're going to talk about y'all that have killed babies. If y'all have murdered Black children, you know, and y'all talk about how bad people are and how you've been treated. How'd you treat that embryo inside of you? Did you like scramble it like an egg, or, you know, did you even try to have an ultrasound? Oh, yes. Now, you know how to donate to perpetuate this. Let's talk to, right? That's his donation. Mine is Dr. Randy Short. Or you can PayPal or Zelle me at wrandyshort@gmail.com. I do respond to serious questions, not feminist ones. If you're feminist, please don't write me. I want to live in a world segregated from ignorant people and feminists. I'm racist against ignorant people. I'm racist against feminism. I'm dedicated to getting rid of feminism in my lifetime. May Kevin Samuel's strength infuse all of us to bring patriarchy back throughout the land. We need patriarchy. That is what's missing in Black America. If we're going to need patriarchy in MS-13, steps to your asses, sisters. Patriarchy today, patriarchy tomorrow, patriarchy forever. God bless us for having lived where some of us could have heard the great words of Kevin Samuels, and may you be inspired. Stand up. We need to get our motherfucking money. We need real unity, which starts with Black men and Black women. We're not talking about faggot and Simpson pork chops, but people committed to our salvation. So you know how to bless us. You see our name, our donation links. There's no way, and we should get as much help as the big platforms that won't talk about missing children in Ohio, that won't talk about these things. Okay, let's sign off, brother.